Welcome back to my weekly Cities Skylines 2 mod review episode, where I show off some of the most recently released mods that I've been implementing into my own cities. We'll kick things off with Historical Start by Algernon. Historical Start allows you to create a new game with unlocked transportation and industry options. Let me start a quick new game on Sunshine Peninsula to show you what I mean. Okay, we've got a brand new level 0 city. So you'll notice that specialized industry is unlocked at the start, which is really great since it's actually how a lot of cities got their start. Maybe there was some ore or coal mining somewhere remote and people slowly started to move there for work, and slowly over time, a town is born. Another thing this mod unlocks is transportation. So you can come in with trains early on and make a connection to your industry. Next up is Anarchy by Yen Yang. So this adds a little modifier that lets you disregard certain rules in game. So a fun example would be using Anarchy to create a road connection between this 20-meter high elevation bridge and this 0-meter on the ground road. So if I just drag that in and get myself a nice 68% slope, that I can do that, but obviously you can't with Anarchy turned off because that slope is just far too steep for any normal car to be able to go up and down. So turn it on, make a really cool looking street slope. Look at that. More practically, let's say you have an intersection such as this one, and I previously disabled the crosswalks here because I didn't want people using it. I wanted them using this bridge that I built. So, but when I did so, you'll notice that I can't actually add the crosswalk back on because for whatever reason, the game is reporting the slope is too steep here. So it won't let me add a crosswalk. Now, if I turn on Anarchy, now I can. So here was where my problem was. I had the same problem where I couldn't remove the crosswalk without using this Anarchy. So that came in really handy to help me get people off of these roundabout crossings. That is Anarchy. Up next is Preserve Photo Mode by Nyoko. So how this works is if you enable photo mode, let's say I want to set my time of day to 8 a.m. And let's say I want to mess with contrast a little bit here. Maybe tint and saturation. Post exposure. Let's say you up the shadows here. Too much. 0.4, 0.2. Midtones, 0.3. Highlights, 0.4. All right. I've done some things that may or may not make the game look better, but here's the deal. When you close photo mode normally, all of those things go away. With Preserve Photo Mode active and enabled, you're actually going to get a preservation of photo mode. All of your settings do not go away, so it is now permanently stuck at 8 for time of day. Interestingly, you can actually change your simulation speed up to, I think, 8. Yeah. Maybe 9, maybe even 10. I'm not sure what the upper limit is for simulation speed, but either way, you can actually make your simulation speed significantly faster in photo mode than you can with just the classic low, medium, high. So if you want to go higher than what the game supports on those toggles, get this plugin installed. Oh, there we go. Max is 8. And run at 8. My simulation is now running as fast as the game can possibly handle. And if I just close photo mode, it'll continue to run at that speed until I change the game speed here or go back into photo mode and change it. So that is preserve photo mode. Next up, we have Free Range Camera Light by Algernon. Yet another mod here. Okay, so the first thing that this lets you do is zoom out to ridiculous proportions. You can zoom completely away from your map if you want to. And secondly, and this is actually sort of a duplicate of another existing mod out there called First Person Camera, but essentially you can actually zoom all the way in and get a first person camera view. So here I am on the city street, walking along with my ugly Sims. Looks like I'm a little short. Let's zoom out just a smidge so I'm just a little taller here. There we go. That's an interesting outfit. That dude's walking a little funky. Guess they all walk a little funky. Look at that dog. Aw, cute. And here we have Chirper and Chirper Street. Excellent. We'll take a quick look at two final mods here. Loom by Infixo and Unemployment Monitor by Cities 2 Modding. Both of these add UI panels with some additional information to your game, and you can find those here. So demand factors is what is exposed by the Loom plugin. So what this does is shows you all of your demand and breaks down why the demand is where it is. So for example, looking at my demand bars here, it looks like I've got really high low density residential demand, but very low medium density and basically non-existent high density residential demand, right? So we have some empty buildings that are negatively actually affecting the residential low, but for the most part between unemployment and happiness, those are high enough to just keep our demand high, right? But if we look at residential medium, there's actually a significant amount of empty buildings, which outweighs the positive modifiers. So that's why we actually have very, very low demand at sitting at only 9%. I did not realize I had so many empty buildings. So now that I know that, I can actually do something about it. I suspect the reason I have so many empty buildings is because I have high unemployment somewhere. So that brings us to our next information, which is this unemployment data. And this is what I said was added by the Unemployment Monitor plugin. So this shows us that we have a 9% unemployment rate, which is pretty high, definitely higher than I'd like. But looking at uneducated unemployment rate, it's actually 32%. So 1 in 3 Sims that are just uneducated do not have a job, which is not great. Poorly educated unemployment is at 14%, which is also not really great. And then if you go to educated, well, and highly educated, it's pretty low overall for all of those. So right now, I just do not have enough jobs for the uneducated or the poorly educated. Now, if I were able to place them into jobs, I suspect I will start to see these empty building modifiers start to disappear. So yeah, we'll have to try it, but I just wanted to point out how these two mods work and how I think that they can work side by side with each other. That's it for the mods this week. Please don't forget to like so I can get some of those sweet algorithm points, and subscribe so you don't miss next week's mod video. Thanks so much for tuning in.